Alaric. I haven't had another woman's lip on mine except Nicole's in a long while. It's been years. But now, Clara's soft, warm lips were against mine. She was kissing me. It was the last thing I expected from her. It felt unlike anything I've ever experienced with any other woman in the past. Kissing Clara was out of this world. I knew I should stop this. She was my student and my brother's ex-girlfriend. She was also much younger than me. I never went for girls her age. And I definitely never went for a girl who was once with any of my brothers. I never mixed business with pleasure. I was supposed to keep a safe distance from any woman who attended the academy. But damn it, I couldn't push her away. I couldn't. I knew how wrong this was. I've never been this weak in my life, not even for Nicole. An irresistible pull surrounded Clara. It was tugging at my chest, bringing me closer. I felt myself losing control. I had to stop this before things got complicated. It was already complicated. I placed both hands on her waist to pull away, but the second that I touch her, everything inside of me snaps. I felt this unbearable need to touch her. I growl against her lips, the sound low and anguished. I unbuckle her seatbelt and lift her out of the truck. Clara gasps against me, and I hungrily swallow the sound as I deepen the kiss between us. This wasn't right. I should be able to stop this. We were in the parking lot. Anyone could see us outside. I could end up in serious trouble and possibly even lose this job. I knew I didn't need it, but I still enjoyed it. Clara, I gasped against her mouth as she clung to me. Her arms were now wrapped around my neck and her body was pressed tightly against mine. I could feel every part of her curves against my body. She was sexy. She was so sexy that I wanted to stand back and watch her. I wanted to admire her body the way that it deserved. I didn't know when I'd lost my damn mind. This wasn't me. I wasn't thinking straight. Clara was distracting me, seducing me without even trying. I'd never felt this alive for a long time. She made me feel like there was sunshine in my life again. The feelings were so strong that I couldn't stop myself as I tightened my hold on her body and pushed her up against my truck. She made me forget about everything I stood for. She made me act like a madman. There was no other woman I would act like this for. The moment I realized that I wanted more than just a kiss with her, I knew that I was screwed. Her body was a seductress on its own. I wanted to rip her dress and bury. Clara, we have to stop this, I tried to tell her. I knew she would hate me when she woke up in the morning and realized that I'd taken advantage of her while she was intoxicated. It was the only reminder that I needed to put a stop to this. I grab her shoulders and push our bodies apart. I'm panting hard, trying to catch my breath while also forcing myself not to reach for her again. One taste, just one taste of Clara, and I wanted more. Her eyes are in a daze as she gazes at me, and my eyes widen when she falls forward into my arms. Clara, I say hesitantly. It took me a few seconds to realize that she'd either fainted or fallen asleep. I quickly place her back into the truck. After she was secured, I checked her pulse and breathing. She was fine, which meant she must have fallen asleep. I breathed a sigh of relief. It was better this way. If she was still awake, I knew I wouldn't have been able to control myself if she'd tried to kiss me again. That would have been a problem for both of us. As I stood there, in the middle of the quiet night, Clara's beauty shone like a bright star. I've always known how beautiful she was. Even her personality was warm and sweet. She was the perfect woman. I always thought that Carter was a lucky man whenever I saw them together. I never understood why she was never enough for him. I can't help myself as I lean forward and place a soft kiss against her neck. I breathe in her strong feminine aroma before forcing myself to pull away and shut the door. I lean against it for a few seconds before finally returning to the driver's side. I knew that I was in serious trouble from today onwards. I'd woken the beast inside me, and it was hungry for her. It wanted Clara, and the full moon was fast approaching. A.N. Hi, my beautiful readers. Happy New Year. I pray this year is filled with God's blessings for every single one of you. Thank you so much for following my writing journey. I'm so grateful for each of you. Lots of love, Laura. Alaric? I knocked on Clara's door, waiting for her parents to let me in. When the door opens, her mother looks surprised to see her daughter asleep in my arms. "Alaric?" she asks as she blinks once, then twice. She must think that she was dreaming. "Mrs. May," I greet her. "I believe someone spiked Clara's drink. She fell asleep on the drive here. I would like to take her to her room if that's okay with you." She looks a bit taken aback by my request, but soon enough, she nods and steps aside for me to enter. My hands tighten on Clara as I walk with her up the stairs. "It's the second door on the right," her mother informs me. I nod and open her door. Her room is everything I expected it to be. It was perfect for her. Her scent was everywhere, and I felt something stir in my pants. Alaric! She's asleep, for crying out loud. I gently placed her down on the bed, even though I wanted to hold her for much longer than this. I grab her sheet to pull it over her body when something to the side of her catches my attention. I lean over her and pick the cloth up in my hands. This was mine. I'd placed this on her body to cover her nakedness on that dreadful day. My jaw clenched at the awful reminder. But why was it on her bed? Her eyes open slightly, and she surprises me when she reaches for it. My hold on it lightened so that she could take it from me. I watch as she snuggles against it before drifting off into sleep again. I stayed completely still as I watched a sleeping Clara with my belongings close to her chest. What did this mean? Did she often use it to fall asleep? Did she like the material, or was there another reason she chose to sleep with something that belonged to me? She looked so at peace now that it was in her hands. It almost looked like it was her comfort. For some reason, I found this incredibly sexy. It also made my chest swell with joy. Me. I had completely lost it. It was the only explanation for my behavior. Even now, I want to be next to her. I was envious of my shirt in her hand. I wanted to be there in replace of it. I run a hand down my face when I hear a knock on the door. "Is everything okay?" her mother asks me. I nod. I was just tucking her in. She smiles. "Thank you for bringing her home safely. It's nice to know that someone is looking after her." I nod. "You should give her some medication when she wakes up. I'm sure she will have a headache in the morning." She nods. "I will. Take care, Alaric." I don't say anything else as I exit her room. Something like this couldn't happen again. I also had to forget all about our kiss, or that Clara used my shirt as a blanket to sleep in. I knew those things would be difficult for me to do, but it had to be done. I had to have some control, especially around Clara. "Clara! Clara!" I let out a low groan as I shifted my position in the bed, trying to find a comfortable spot. My head was throbbing with a dull pain, and my throat was parched and scratchy, making it difficult even to swallow. This was awful. The room felt stuffy and hot, adding to my discomfort. I closed my eyes and tried to take deep breaths, hoping that the dryness would subside soon. What exactly did I do last night? Why did I feel like this? My lips felt a tiny bit sore and even plump, like I'd been kissing someone the entire night. I chuckled at that absurd thought. Who would I have possibly kissed last night? "Clara!" I hear my mother's voice louder than before. She was growing closer to me. I force my eyes open right before she enters my room. "You should drink some water," she tells me as she hands me a cup. I take it from her hand and swallow the water quickly. I was pretty thirsty. "How did I get home last night?" I ask her. I couldn't remember much from the night before. "You don't remember?" she asks as she stares at me. I shook my head. "Carter's older brother. He was the one that dropped you home," she answers me. I freeze. That couldn't be right. "His older brother?" I ask. She nods. "You know Alaric, Prince." The blood drains from my face at her words. "Alaric dropped me home last night?" I ask once more. She smiles. "He was so nice. You were asleep, so he brought you to the room as well." My mouth drops open as I stare at my mother in disbelief. I look down at his shirt, still in my hands. No, Clara." I'm pacing from left to right outside of the classroom door. I knew I wouldn't be able to look Alaric in his eyes after what I did. All of the memories came back to me last night. Dancing in the ballroom, Alaric taking me back to his truck and then kissing him out of nowhere. I'd completely crossed the line. But that wasn't the worst part. I got so drunk that he had to take me home. But not only that, he also had to carry me to my room, where I'm positive that he saw his shirt on my bed. Since he was the one that carried me to my room, I knew there wasn't a possibility that he had missed it. He must think that there was something seriously wrong with me. We didn't have anything between us. I had no reason to be sleeping with his shirt every night. I knew that was what he would be thinking. I'm sure that Alaric will be concerned to see you in front of the classroom looking this frantic, Jenna says as she walks up to me. Doesn't he always find you like this before every class? I think I must skip class today, I tell her. She frowns. Did something happen at the dance? She asks me. We all saw you leaving with Alaric. I nod. I did something crazy. I confess. There was no use keeping the truth from her. She knew by now that I was a little crazy when it came to Carter's older brother. The truth was that I never even acted this way for Carter while we were dating, and he was the one I thought I was crazy in love with. He did us both a favor when he ruined our relationship. He was right. We definitely were never meant to be. She folds her arms and looks at me. I'm sure it isn't as crazy as you're trying to make it seem. Tell me exactly what happened. There must be a reason why you're this scared. I play with my fingers nervously as I say, I know you won't tell anyone, and that's why I'm telling you this, besides the fact that you're my best friend and I love you. She looks amused as she waits for me to continue. I take a deep breath. I kissed him. She frowns. You mean like last time when you kissed his forehead? She asks me. I shook my head. No, Jenna. This was a real kiss. On his lips. Her eyes widen. You're not serious, are you? I cover my face with my hands. Very serious. I can't remember everything clearly, but I know that I was the one who kissed him. He was trying to be nice and get me home safely, but I took things to another level. Oh, she whispers. This is bad. He's our professor, and you practically see him every day. Is there any chance that he had anything to drink at the dance? Scratch that. How did you even get drunk? There wasn't supposed to be any alcohol there. I run a hand down my face. I don't know Jenna, but I know I can't face him today. You are running out of time to escape, she points out. If you want to leave now, I can join you. Oh, I love you, I exclaim as I grab her hand and run down the hallway with her. I was happy that I had company to skip Alaric's class today. I knew that it wasn't the best idea since I was never one to skip classes, but it had to be done. I also was aware that I couldn't keep hiding from him forever. Eventually, I would have no choice but to come face to face with him. You do realize that you will still see him later today. My best friend points it out to me. I sigh. I know he will be there tonight when I visit Scarlett, but that doesn't mean I will run into him. I'll try to avoid him as much as possible when I'm there. Do you plan on telling Scarlett what happened? She asks me curiously. I bit my lip nervously. I don't think I have a choice. We promised not to keep secrets between each other again after what happened with Carter. I don't want to make any mistakes. I will tell her what I did. We make our way to the parking lot. I decided it was best to skip all classes today rather than just his own. Seriously, Clara, I didn't think you had it in you to kiss our professor, Jenna says the second we got into my car. I didn't think I had it in me either. I knew that I wanted his attention, but I didn't think I would go as far as to kiss him. So, Jenna whispers as she leans closer to me, how was the kiss? My eyes widen at that question. I hadn't reached that far yet. I placed a finger on my lips and felt my heartbeat increase rapidly. From what I could remember, the kiss was electric. It was more than I ever thought it would be. I remember Alaric asking me to stop. I felt my cheeks burn at that reminder. He must have been so alarmed by my actions. I inwardly groan. I knew that the next time I saw him, I wouldn't know how to act. Even though the kiss meant everything to me, and it probably was the first and last time I would ever be that close to him, I knew I had to try and forget it. There could never be anything between us. But that didn't mean I would stop trying for us. I wouldn't give up until he told me to. One day I would have the courage to tell him what he did to my fragile heart. She skipped my class today. I tried not to notice it, but it wasn't easy. The second I entered the room today and didn't see her, I was uneasy. I checked the door multiple times, waiting for her to arrive, but she never did. Clara was not the type of girl to skip classes. It made me so worried to the point that I called Carter to ask about her. He was initially confused as to why I was asking about Clara, but I convinced him that it was an essential class that she missed. Then Scarlett told me that she was pretty sure that Clara attended the academy today but skipped my class. Her words prompted me to ask the other professors if she attended their classes, and then I was told that she was absent for all. Seeing her every day always brightened my dull life. I looked forward to it, and the one day she never showed, my whole world felt like it was flipped upside down. I angrily slammed my truck door shut as I exit the garage. I wasn't thinking clearly. The only thing that kept me going was my hope of seeing her tonight. I knew that she would be here for Scarlett. She wouldn't miss it for anything. On top of everything, Nicole never attended the academy today either. I never got the signed divorce papers that she promised to give to me. It made me worry. Did she intentionally not show up? Was she avoiding me so she wouldn't have to give me the papers? I wanted to believe her when she said she signed them, but it was hard to believe after everything she's done. That was just a tiny part of my problems. My biggest one was the fact that I couldn't get Clara's kiss out of my head. Every time I closed my eyes, it was all I could think about. It was so bad that I never slept at all last night. I kept my eyes wide open for the entire night. My body was burning for her touch. It was insane. As I storm into the house, the first person I see is Carter. "What the hell is up with you?" he demands when he lays his eyes on me. "You look like someone took your last plate of food." "Not now, Carter," I growl. He quirks a brow. "Something is up. Talk to me. Tell me what's wrong. We can play a game of basketball outside to help ease the stress that I know has to do with Nicole. There isn't anyone else in your life to stress you out besides her." He was so wrong. He knew nothing about Clara and me, and I planned on keeping it that way. But what was there even between the two of us? It was nothing. It was just a kiss, nothing more. Clara was drunk. She kissed me, and I got a bit carried away. There was nothing to tell or worry about. I was positive that she was thinking about Carter despite what she may believe. But that still wouldn't explain why she had my shirt on her bed. I swallowed hard as I remembered the way she clutched it to her chest as she slept. Get her out of your mind. I was a damn fool even to believe those earlier thoughts. I knew damn well that it was more than just a kiss, so much so that I was almost terrified of the full moon. I was usually worried about it in the past, but this time I was in a mess just thinking about it. There was no telling what I would do to get to her. I saw what Carter was capable of doing when he started going wild over Scarlett. I knew that I was capable of much more. "Alaric?" My brother calls my name once more. My gaze snaps to his. "Yeah? You didn't hear a word I just said to you, did you?" He asks as he shakes his head. "You've been a little out of it these past few days. It reminds me of myself when I started hooking up with Scarlett." He pauses for a second. "Don't tell me you're interested in someone now that you and Nicole are most likely divorced?" My jaw clenches, and before I can give him an answer, I see the woman who's been driving me crazy since she kissed me. I turned to face her properly despite what my brother would think when he saw me gazing at her. I couldn't hold it back. I wanted to see her. The second her eyes fall on me, I see the panic in them. I frown. Why was she nervous? Did she remember everything from that night? Was Clara avoiding me? Is that why she skipped my class today? Nicole, the Blackner's residence. Finally, Ace agreed to meet me again after I showed him the signed divorce papers. At first, I didn't want to do it. I never planned on divorcing Alaric for him to be with that blasted Clara girl. However, I wanted Ace more than I wanted him. I knew that if I showed Ace that I was no longer married, I would have a better chance with him. And I was right. "You came," he says when he spots me in the waiting room. I nod. "You know I'll always come running once you call for me." He adjusts the buttons on his shirt, and my eyes travel to his exposed chest. I swallow hard. Ace was the kind of man that you couldn't help but want. I knew I wasn't the only woman crazy about him. Everyone knew that he was off limits. Everyone knew that the Blackners did not do mates. However, every girl wished for a chance with at least one of the brothers. For me, Ace was the one that I wanted. He looked over my body. I wore his favorite dress. "Are you on the pill, like I always ask?" he inquires. I nod. I am. It was a lie. I usually listen to him, and maybe that's why he believes me right now. However, I wanted his baby. If that was the only way to keep him in my life, I wanted to get pregnant for him. That way I can trap both Alaric and Ace. I would have them both thinking that the baby was theirs. In reality, Ace would be the real father. Even though I signed those divorce papers, I didn't plan on letting Alaric go. I still needed him to fall back on. Besides, now that Clara wanted him, I wanted him also. I wouldn't let her have him. Of course, it wasn't guaranteed that I would get pregnant, but it was worth a try. Besides, I knew this wasn't the last time Ace would come to me. He enjoyed having a woman to fuck, and while there was plenty waiting for a chance, he liked to stick to one. That way, there would be less complications. I was lucky enough that I had caught his attention. Not only him, but Alaric's attention also. They both made me feel like I could get any man I saw. I often used the pill when I was with Alaric because I never wanted to get pregnant with his baby. I knew how badly he wanted a child of his own, especially after Scarlett got pregnant for Carter, but I was not willing to give him one. Not now. Not ever. Come with me, Ace tells me, and I happily obey. I divorced him to be with you. I blurt out, "You're the one I want to be with, Ace." He growls, "If you can't accept that, I suggest you leave now." "No," I gasp. "I want this. I've been waiting on this for a long time now. If that's all you want from me, I'm okay with that. I promise." His behavior towards me would change the second that I get pregnant for him. I was more determined than ever for that to happen. "Good," he says as he takes me to one of the rooms. He never takes me to his personal room, just a random room they have for guests, but I knew all of that would soon change. "Take it all off." He growls the moment that he locks the door. The second that I remove my clothes like he asked, he's on me. His mouth, his hands, his teeth, they're all on me, and I'm happy to be back in his arms finally. Ace was not gentle, like Alaric. He was rough and wild, and I loved every second of it. I let him have his way, just like I always did, and I think that's why Ace always came back to me eventually. I made him feel something that no one else could. I knew that it wouldn't be long before I got my way. Both Alaric and Ace would be at my mercy soon. Clara wouldn't stand a chance against me. The second that Alaric learns that I'll be giving him the one thing he's been craving for years now, he will forget all about her. And since Ace and his family were loyal when it came to their children, he would have no choice but to keep me in his life. Everything was finally going my way, just like I planned. Clara, Alaric. His eyes have been on me ever since he returned from the academy. I could feel the heat of his hungry stare on the back of my neck. It made me tremble with a need to kiss him again. My tummy twists at the reminder of his lips on mine. Just a few minutes ago, Scarlett informed me that he even went to the extent of calling Carter to inquire about my absence from his class. This was a complete surprise to me, as I couldn't understand why he was so concerned about my whereabouts. The situation was quite perplexing. I couldn't comprehend why he reached out to his brother, of all people, to inquire about me. It was a risky move, as he knew that it would arouse Carter's suspicion. From what I gathered, Scarlett hadn't mentioned anything about the kiss to me either, which led me to believe that he hadn't confided in anyone about what I'd done. My assumption was that he was feeling sympathetic towards me. Perhaps he sensed how mortified I was about my behavior. I couldn't help but wonder what he thought of me now that he had witnessed my moment of weakness. I play with my fingers nervously on my lap as everyone gets lost in their conversations. I was too ashamed to look at Alaric, even though he was still looking in my direction. I knew he remembered everything about that night. He wasn't the drunk one that day. He knew I kissed him when I shouldn't have. There was even a chance that I opened my mouth and said things to him that I shouldn't have. There was really no end to my embarrassment. Each day, I did something worse than before. I inwardly groan. I should have been stronger. I shouldn't have thrown myself at him like that. "You're unusually quiet," Scarlett whispers next to me. I haven't told her what happened. I was waiting for the right time, but it never came. There was no point in waiting anymore. "You should know that I did something stupid at the dance," I whisper. Her eyes widen. "I was worried when I saw you leave with Alaric, but when you didn't say anything to me earlier, I assumed that I had nothing to worry about. What exactly happened?" I lean in closer just to make sure that no one can hear me when I say, I kissed him, on the lips. The bowl of ice in Scarlett's hand drops to the ground as she gapes at me. Everyone turns to look at us, and I can feel my cheeks burn. I knew she would be shocked, but I never expected this horrible reaction from her. Now, everyone knew that our conversation just surprised her. Everything okay? Carter asks her as he walks over to her side to examine her body. He's been extra concerned about her ever since he learned that she was pregnant, especially since she's been sick recently. She nods as she looks at me in horror. Everything is fine. It just slipped from my hands. I told you I would do it, he scolds her as he cleans up the mess. You should be sitting and relaxing. I don't want you doing anything else. She sighs. You act like I would intentionally put myself in harm's way. He places a kiss on her forehead. I can't help but worry about you and our baby. Please bear with me a little. She smiles up at him brightly. Of course. I look away as they both lean in for a kiss. I could see why Scarlett got pregnant so quickly. They couldn't keep their hands off each other. My breath gets caught in my throat when my eyes finally connect with Alaric's. I swallowed hard and almost lost my balance. I could hardly control my heartbeat when he didn't even try to look away from me. I fan myself with my hands as I quickly step out of the room to catch my breath. The second that I'm outside, I lean back against the wall and close my eyes. My heart couldn't take this. It felt like it was on a battlefield. Why was Alaric so damn irresistible? Why was he the only man on the planet that my heart reacted to this way? Are you avoiding me, Clara? I stayed completely still. I couldn't even open my eyes, for I recognized that voice instantly. Why did he follow me outside? I came here so that my heart could have a fighting chance. I slowly opened my eyes to find him standing in front of me. His penetrating gaze was on me, and my heart threatened to jump out of my chest at this rate. Clara? He says again, and I gasp. My name in his mouth was like music to my ear. I loved it so much more now that he wasn't saying it in a professional manner. This felt much more personal. Are you avoiding me? Clara. I bit my lip to stop myself from answering him. Wasn't it evident that I was avoiding him? Clara? I inwardly moan at hearing my name once more. I didn't think it would turn me on this much. My body awakened at his call like it's been waiting its entire life for him to say my name. No, I lie. I'm not avoiding you. He doesn't look convinced as he asks, why were you not in my class today? I bit my lip as I tried to find a good answer for him. I had something important to do. I finally respond. His eyes are dark as he growls, something important to do. I gasp, taken aback by his tone and the throaty growl. Why did it seem like he was mad that I hadn't attended his class? I can barely look him in his eyes. Yes, I whisper. Something important. More important than attending my class? He asks in an angry tone. It would seem as though Alaric took the attendance of his students quite seriously, but would he react this way for everyone else? Jenna also skipped classes with me, but I haven't heard him mention her even once. In fact, when he called Carter today, he only asked about me. I wanted to mention her to him to get his reaction, but I didn't want to throw my best friend under the bus. No, I gasp. Definitely not more important. Don't skip my class again, Clara. My eyes widen at his words. I didn't think he would react like this just because I skipped one of his classes. But still, there was not a single mention of the kiss. Did I imagine the entire thing? Okay. I finally respond. I won't do it again. He calms down a little. About the dance, what do you remember from that night? His face is close to mine, and I can feel his breath on my cheeks. It felt amazing, and I wanted more than just this. I wanted to kiss him again. However, I wasn't intoxicated this time. I didn't have the courage to do it. Clara? I close my eyes and lean into him. His hands move to my waist to steady my body. There he goes again, saying my name, making me come alive. I love it when you say my name, I tell him. Not Miss Clara May, but just Clara. Like we're more than just. I stop myself mid-sentence. More than just? He asks as he leans closer to me. I don't think he realizes he's doing it. We're so lost in each other that neither of us are aware of what's happening. I'm just happy to be closer to him again. Clara? I hear my sister's call. Alaric and I jump apart from each other. He looks petrified now that he's back to his senses. I was right. He didn't even realize he was getting closer to me. Scarlett looks at the both of us, and her eyes widen. She can't even hide her surprise to see us alone together. Alaric was just finding out why I missed his class today, I informed my sister. It wasn't technically a lie. Tonight was the first time that I felt like Alaric could possibly be interested in me. However, I didn't want to assume anything and risk myself getting hurt. I was already growing attached to him. It was so bad that I missed him like crazy today when I skipped his class. I came here for Scarlett, but a big part of me needed to see him as well. "Oh," was all my sister responded with as she took my hand and pulled me back inside with her. "Did you guys kiss again?" she asked when we were a good distance away from Alaric. I shook my head as my cheeks heated up. "No, we didn't, but can you keep your voice down?" Alaric doesn't know yet that I remember everything from the dance. "Do you ever plan on telling him?" she asks as we head up to her room. I shook my head. "No, I'm too ashamed of my actions. From the looks of it, Clara, I think Alaric might actually be interested in you as well," she points out. My eyes widen. "Do you really think so?" She nods. "What's there not to like about you? Almost all men at the academy have always desired you. People would kill for a chance to date you. And now that Alaric and Nicole are most likely divorced, he's a free man. I think he's at least attracted to you." "Do you really think so?" I ask her. She nods. "There is only one way to confirm it. Make him jealous. Flirt with another man in front of him. See how he reacts." Get Alaric jealous? Was that something I really wanted to do? And would he truly get jealous because of me? Alaric. I wanted her. My body hurt for Clara. Hearing her say she loved when I said her name did something to me. It made me wonder if that kiss was truly meant for me. I never had the slightest clue in the past that she could be interested in me. Maybe the kiss was still messing with my head. I was thinking of things that couldn't be true. Clara has liked, possibly even loved, my younger brother with all her heart. I've seen her face light up around him 100 times. I never saw her look that way around anyone else. But that doesn't mean I haven't noticed how her body always gravitates towards mine whenever I'm near her. That doesn't mean I haven't noticed the little sounds she makes or her little shudders. Me. I didn't want to think about that right now. I still had plenty on my hands to deal with. I shouldn't be thinking about Clara in this way, especially since I couldn't get through with Nicole. I had no clue where she was, and I still wasn't convinced she'd signed those divorce papers. But damn it, I couldn't help it. Her scent has been on me since she kissed me. Even though I'd showered like crazy, it was still stuck on me. It lingered like nothing else. It distracted me. Every damn second of every day, it was on my mind. I wanted another taste of her, and I almost did that tonight. I almost gave in and took what my body wanted. I was grateful that Scarlett walked in and reminded me of my actions. I needed that reminder. I'm unsure what would happen if I'm alone with Clara again. I could barely control myself in a room filled with people. I didn't want to think about what I would do to her if it were just the two of us locked in a room together. "You sure everything is okay?" Carter asks as he throws the ball at me. I catch it before it hits my chest. Thinking about Clara made me forget all about the game with my brother. She had me distracted like no other woman in my life. "Why?" I ask him. "Are you hoping that I wouldn't beat your ass again?" He chuckles. "Beat my ass?" he asks. "Come on, big brother. We both know I've won more games than you have." I laugh. "You're delusional. You wouldn't be able to say that if we kept track of the score." He tries to tackle me for the ball, but I don't let him have it. I jump and throw the ball into the hoop. "Add that one to the scoreboard," I tell him. His face turns serious. "You can't fool me, Alaric. I know something is on your mind. What did Nicole do this time?" We both forget about the ball and sit on one of the benches. "I don't know where she is," I confess. "I haven't been able to get through to her. She claimed that she signed the divorce papers, as I mentioned to you before. However, I still have my doubts. Why else would she not have given them to me yet?" Carter sighs and leans back against the bench. Nicole is the type of woman to lie about something like that. Give yourself a break. Don't let it get to you. Maybe she already signed it but got caught up in something else. She can't hide from you forever. Eventually, She's going to have to show up at the academy since she works there now. He was right. I was worrying for nothing. Is there someone that you are interested in? He asks suddenly. My eyes snap to his. What? He quirks a brow at me. You just seem to be in a daze most of the time. It makes me think that you truly are seeing someone other than Nicole. I'm sure she isn't the one that has you like this. Yes, your ex-girlfriend, the woman whose heart you broke, the sister of your wife. Why the hell were those thoughts in my head? I'm not seeing anyone. It was the truth. I was not dating anyone. I was losing my mind over Clara, but there was nothing going on between us. No matter how badly I wanted her, I knew that I couldn't have her. She was always going to be Carter's ex-girlfriend. I didn't want to date someone that my brother once dated, but me. I seemed to forget about that little detail whenever I saw her. I was surprised when you asked me about Clara today, he says suddenly. My jaw clenches. What was so surprising about it? I didn't see you as the type of person to call about every student who didn't show up to your class for one day, he points out. I shrug. She isn't just any student. She's the sister of your wife. Of course, I would be concerned about her. He nods. I'm sorry I brought it up. The fact that he even brought it up to begin with meant that he was catching on to me. He must be able to tell that I was showing more interest in Clara than usual. I had to get my emotions under control, and I had to do it quickly. Clara. There is this party tonight, Scarlett informs me. I think it's your chance to make Alaric jealous, or at least test him to find out if he's interested in you. Once you confirm this, you'll know what to do from there onwards. Would you be there? I ask her. She shook her head. Carter doesn't want me to go. He says that it wouldn't be good for me or the baby. I've been giving him a hard time recently, especially with all these crazy hormones. So tonight, I want to give him a chance to breathe again. I'm finally listening to him. Jenna laughs. I still can't believe you got Carter Prince to his knees like that. He worships you. I grin. He really does. I'm sure soon enough, the both of you will have men in your life that worship you as well. She teases us. Jenna rolls her eyes. I'm sure Clara has a good chance with Alaric, especially since the heated kiss. But me, there isn't a single man in my life. We are not sure that Alaric even likes me, I remind her. That is why I will be there with you tonight, she informs me. I'll make sure that Alaric gets jealous. First, we are going to start with the outfit. I'm aware that you don't need any fashion tips from me, but you are going to love the dress I chose for tonight. I stared at the long white dress in her hands. There was a long slit to the left side and gems on the chest area. It's beautiful. She smiles. I knew you'd love it. Scarlett helped me to pick it out for you. I look at my sister in surprise. You actually helped with this? She smiles. What can I say, sister? I might finally be interested in fashion, just like you always wanted. I roll my eyes. I knew damn well that would never be true. Jenna and I took our time getting ready for the party, carefully doing our hair and makeup. Scarlett was also there to help us every step of the way. Once we were satisfied with our appearance, we stepped outside and into the waiting limousine. The driver greeted us with a smile, and we settled into the comfortable leather seats. I was nervous. I wasn't sure that making Alaric jealous would work. I didn't want to get my hopes crushed when he gave no reaction at all. But if I didn't try, I would never know. Alaric seemed like the type of man to want someone and let them go because he thinks it's the right thing to do. You look stunning, I tell Jenna. Me? She asks in surprise. Have you seen yourself in the mirror before you left home? You're the stunning one. I can't wait to see Alaric's face when he finally spots you. I don't think he really likes me, I tell her. I know Scarlett seems to believe that he does, but I know he only has a heart for Nicole. If that were the case, he wouldn't have filed for a divorce, she points out. I think it's quite obvious he has feelings for you as well. You're the only one who doesn't seem to notice he has feelings for you. I guess tonight we will be able to know for sure, I tell her. She smiles. Believe me, Scarlett and I will be proven right tonight. I actually hoped that she would win this bet. Alaric having feelings for me will be like a dream come true. The second we pulled up to the house, I could feel my nervousness begin to rise. Was this the right thing to do? Would Alaric be upset with me for playing this silly game just to find out if he has feelings for me? My mind was racing with these questions, but it was too late to turn back around now. I already made up my mind to do it. Who exactly will I be flirting with tonight? I ask her. Don't worry, she assures me. I have it all planned out. Just flirt with the first guy before you, as long as Alaric is looking. I'll be right by your side to guide you. You don't have to worry about a single thing. I gape at her. That's your mastermind plan? She grins. Come, we are late. As soon as we stepped out of the grand limousine and the gust of wind blew my hair across my face, a shiver ran down my spine, making me realize that the moment I had been waiting for had finally arrived. Jenna, who was standing beside me, sensing my nervousness, took my hand and pulled me forward with her, as if assuring me that everything would be fine. The sound of the wind blowing through my ears and the thought of seeing Alaric again was all I needed to keep moving forward. I follow Jenna through the pathway and up the stairs to the rooftop. I don't see Alaric anywhere, I tell her as soon as we step outside into the party. Are you sure he will be here? With all of the excitement, I forgot to ask my sister if she was certain that Alaric would attend this party. She nods. Scarlett was positive that he would be here. I take another look around us. Where was he? Alaric. Aren't you going to the party tonight? Scarlett asks me when I step into the living room. I pause, not sure that she is speaking to me. It seemed that she was judging by the look she gave me. I was surprised that she was even interested in my social life. Why would I be there? I ask her. I think I've seen enough parties for the year. I don't need to attend another one. Oh, she says. Clara and Jenna are already there. I think a few of your brothers are there as well. Carter and I stayed back because he wanted me to be careful with our baby. I thought for sure that you would be there. Clara was at that party? Every word she said after that was not heard by me. I was only focused on the fact that Clara was at another party, and she could be drunk and dancing with strangers. Clara's there? I ask for confirmation. She nods. She's there. In fact, I just spoke to her. I didn't want to act like I was interested in going now that I knew Clara would be there. I couldn't make it that obvious, especially not when Carter was catching on to me. I'm about to make an excuse to go to the party when the vibration of my phone catches my attention. I pull it out of my pocket and stare at the caller ID. It was Nicole. She was finally contacting me after avoiding me for so long. I quickly answer, Nicole, why the hell have you been avoiding me? I'm about to say something else when I hear her crying. What's wrong? I demand. I never liked to hear her cry, even though we weren't on the best of terms right now. Please come see me at home, she begs. I need you, Alaric. Okay, I assure her. I'll be there soon. Where are you going? Carter asks me as he joins Scarlett and me in the room. Nicole just called, I inform him. It sounds like she is crying. She asked me to come over and told me she needs me. My brother frowns. Do you really think that's a good idea? Of course, I didn't think it was a damn good idea, but I was never one to leave Nicole to deal with any problems on her own. I was always there for her, and I didn't want to stop now. I need to make sure she's okay, I answer him. He sighs. Just don't let her suck you in again with her lies. If there isn't a good reason for you to be there, I suggest that you leave right away. I nod and grab my keys from the holder. I'll be back soon. Wait a second, Clara. I don't think he's coming, I tell Jenna. I'm sure he will show up here once he realizes you're also here. She assures me. I didn't see that happening. He would have already been present if that was true. Wait a second, I tell her. Scarlett's calling me. I'm sure it's to give me bad news. Clara? My sister calls my name as soon as I pick up her call. Alaric isn't here, I tell her right away. I don't think he's showing up tonight. She sighs. I told him that you would be there, and I swear that he was willing to come once I mentioned your name. However, she stops talking, like she isn't sure that she should continue telling me what happened. Tell me, Scarlett, I insist. What exactly happened? Nicole called him at the exact time I mentioned that you were at the party. She answers me. He said that she was crying and said that she needed him. He left right away to make sure that she was okay. My heart literally shatters at her words. I couldn't believe this. All this time, I waited for him to show up, and he was on his way to see Nicole. I can't remember the last time my heart hurt this much, not even the time that Carter broke my heart into pieces, or when I found out he was seeing Scarlett. Nothing compared to this pain. All our plans for the night were ruined, and all because Alaric went to care for his supposedly ex-wife. "What did she say?" Jenna asks me. She could tell that I was having a hard time. "She said that Alaric chose to go look after Nicole instead of coming to the party," I informed my best friend. Her eyes widen in horror. "He did what?" "I can't believe this," I whisper. "I didn't think that it would hurt this much, but it does. My heart is in pain, Jenna. I don't know how to handle the pain. I can't believe he's still running after her. I know what can help," she says as she grabs a drink from a server and hands it to me. "This will drown your sorrows away. The last time I got drunk, I did something incredibly stupid. I couldn't risk doing that again." However, Alaric was nowhere around right now. As long as he wasn't near me while I was intoxicated, then I had nothing to worry about. I take the drink from Jenna and don't think twice as I empty it into my mouth. I don't stop there as I ask for the next one. I'd somehow managed to break my own heart again. "I guess we got our answer, Jenna," I say to her with tears in my eyes. "Alaric never liked me to begin with. It's always only been Nicole." Alaric. As I ran towards the house, my heart was pounding with fear and anxiety. When I entered, I saw Nicole lying on the ground, her face drenched in tears. Her body was trembling, and her sobs echoed through the room. It went straight to my chest. Looking around, I could see that the place was in a mess. Furniture was ruined, and broken glass was scattered on the floor. I knew right away that she had done this herself. She must have had a nervous breakdown. I rushed to her side and pick her up into my arms. "What's wrong?" She wraps her arms around me tightly. "You left me. That's what's wrong." I stayed completely still. I wasn't sure how to respond to her words. She grabs papers from the ground and shows me her signature. It took me a few seconds to recognize what she showed me. She'd truly signed them. We were finally divorced. "Nicole, I can't believe you forced me to do this, Alaric," she gasps, choking on her own words. "You made me sign these papers, and now I feel like my entire world will collapse. I don't know what to do with these emotions. I don't know how to live without you." I didn't know what to say to make her better. Our marriage was over, and I wasn't going back down that road again. I now had feelings for someone else, and I didn't know what to do with those feelings yet. I gently rubbed my hands down her back. "It's going to get better, Nicole. I'm not going to pull out of your life completely. I'll still be here to support you." "I don't want just your support," she shouts. "I want your love, Alaric. I want things to go back to how it was in the past. I'm tired of this. I want what we once had. I'm willing to put the things I know about you and your family behind me." I flinch at her words. It reminded me of the countless times she called me a monster. The full moon was less than a week away. Was she sure that she could handle seeing me like that again? I didn't think so. "I can never forgive the things you said to me or my family, Nicole," I try to explain to her. "It's not something I can ever easily forget. You hurt me. You hurt my family. You've never cared about them. That's because they made it very hard for me to care for them." She snaps. "They always wanted to separate us, and they finally got their wish." "It was never their wish," I growl. "They were nice to you for a long time, but you never appreciated their kindness. I can't fix what has already been broken. It's too late for that. We are going to have to move on from each other. I know it can't be done in a day's time, but that's why I'm willing to still be by your side until it gets easier for you." "Are you saying that it's easy for you?" she shouts. "Was divorcing me truly that easy after everything we've been through together?" "I stayed by your side for years, Nicole. I loved you unconditionally. I allowed you to speak to me like I meant nothing at all to you. I allowed you to disrespect my family," I remind her. "I supported you and cherished you, but in return, you gave me only pain. I knew we were happy once, but all of it eventually changed, and it's over now." "No," she snaps. "It can't be over. It will never be over between us, Alaric." I slowly let go of her. "I came here because I still care about you, but I can't stay." "What do you mean you can't stay?" she demands. "Where else do you have to be?" I don't answer her as I help her off the ground and put her seated on a chair. If anything comes up again, feel free to call me. I don't say anything else as I storm out of her home. I couldn't stay here. In the past, Nicole knew how to get me wrapped around her fingers. I knew that she was trying to do the same thing to me again. I stared down at the papers in my hands. She'd signed them. I looked down at my phone after hearing it ring. I was surprised to see that it was Scarlett calling me. "Scarlett? Alaric," she says in a worried tone. "I need you to get over to the party right away." I pause. "What's wrong?" "Jenna says that she went to the bathroom, but now she can't find Clara anywhere. She was drinking plenty. I'm worried about my sister." Her words have me in a complete daze. I don't think twice as I rush into my truck and back out of the driveway. "Alaric?" Scarlett calls. "Are you still there?" "I'll find her," I growl as I end the call. "Alaric." As soon as I arrived at the party, the tight feeling in my chest increased. I was impatient to find Clara. I knew what she was like when she drank, and I was about to lose my mind if I didn't find her soon. Despite scanning the parking lot and the surrounding areas, I couldn't spot her anywhere. I even checked the bathrooms and pushed through the crowds, searching for any glimpse of her. But to my dismay, she was nowhere to be found. "Alaric!" I spun around to find Jenna running towards me. "Did you find her?" I demand. She shook her head. The poor girl looked like she was having a rough night. It did nothing to ease the tension inside of me. In fact, it only made it 100 times worse. "I don't know where she went. Everyone is looking for her. I told her to wait outside the bathroom for me, but when I got out, she was gone. I'm not sure where she went or why she even left." She confesses. I run a hand down my face. I can't remember the last time I've ever felt this damned worried over someone. I could feel the terror in my throat begin to rise. She couldn't have gotten far. I try to comfort her despite my own discomfort with this news. "You don't know Clara that well, do you?" she asks me. "The Clara I know could get pretty far, especially since she's already so upset." I frown. "Did you say that she was upset?" Her eyes widen at my question. "I don't think I did." She was lying to me. Did something happen to Clara while she was at the party? I demand. Did someone do something to hurt her? I was not going to sit back and let that slide. Jenna remained quiet despite my deadly glare. "I think you have it all wrong," she tries to explain. "No one at the party did anything to hurt her. I was there. I'm sure that's not the reason that she got upset." The anger growing inside me instantly stops at her words. "Then what's the reason?" She sighs. "I think that we should focus on finding Clara first. After she's found, you can ask her this question yourself. I'm sure that she will tell you the truth." I wasn't so sure about that. Clara wasn't always open with me. "I'm going to check the rooftop up once more," she informs me. I nod. "I'll keep an eye out in the parking lot. Maybe she was trying to leave and fell asleep somewhere." And as soon as Jenna walks back into the house, I take another run through the parking lot. Where the could she be? I still believe that she couldn't have gotten far, but according to Jenna, Clara was capable of plenty when she was drunk and upset. It still bothered me that something had upset her. I wanted to find her and make it all better. I couldn't just stay here and hope that she returned. I had to do something, anything at all. I jumped back into my truck and reversed from the parking lot. My eyes are focused on the road as I search for a lost, insanely beautiful woman. It shouldn't be that hard to find. I wasn't sure if I was heading in the right direction, but I was willing to try anything at this point. I was just 5 minutes into the drive when I spotted a figure in a white dress. Instantly, I knew that it was Clara. No one else would look that breathtaking on the side of a damn lonely road. I pulled the truck onto the side and quickly got out. She turns around and shields her eyes from the bright light on her face. "Clara!" I shout as I approach her. She removes her hands from in front of her face and blinks at me. How was I supposed to focus when she looked this good? I couldn't think properly, knowing that she was walking around without me by her side looking like this. How many men tried to speak to her at the party? How many of them eyed her from a distance but dared not to try? How many of them wanted to take her back home with them? Ah, damn it. "What are you doing here?" she shouts. I stop halfway. shocked by the anger in her voice. She was angry. With me? That couldn't be. I hadn't done anything to get her angry. I don't have to go to her as she crosses the distance between us. Her hands are shaking, and so are her lips. I'm left clueless. I didn't know what was happening here. Clara was all that I could ask. Why are you here in front of me again? She demands. Are you here to hurt me some more? I frown as my eyes search hers. Did I hurt you? How? Was this what Jenna was afraid to tell me? That Clara was upset with me? I couldn't understand a word that she was saying to me. I knew that she was drunk. I knew that she probably wasn't even aware of what she was saying. But still, I needed to know. If I'd hurt her, I had to fix it. I had to. How can you not know? She demands. I waited for you. I waited at that party, and yet you never showed. I didn't understand. Why would she have waited at the party for me? We never agreed to meet there. I put on this fancy dress. I did so much and waited for you, she cries. And still, you never showed up. Instead, you went to take care of your ex-wife. Because she's all that matters to you. She's the only person you care about. No one else, definitely not a nobody like me. Her words pierced my heart. I was not only shocked, but also in pain because somehow I'd managed to hurt her. Even though I was clueless, I wanted to make it better for her. I wanted the pain to end. Clara, I whisper, I don't understand. How did my actions hurt you? She grabs onto my shirt as tears stream down her cheeks. Why do you still run after her all this time? Why? Clara, did you kiss her? She cries. I stop breathing. Did I what? What did kissing have to do with any of this? Alaric. Did I kiss Nicole? I repeat her question. I had to make sure that's what she was asking me. Her eyes narrowed. You did, didn't you? Clara, I whisper. Help me understand this, please. What does this have to do with you being upset right now? You can't even answer me. She gasps in horror. Of course you kissed her. Her hands are still on my shirt, gripping it tightly. I slowly reach up to hold her arms. Clara, listen to me. I'm only going to say this once. I never kissed Nicole. She called me over to confirm that we were officially divorced. She was crying, hysterical because it was finally over. I didn't go there to fix things with her. I went to make sure that she was okay. Once I realized that she was, I immediately left. That's all that happened. Her lips were still trembling as she gazed up at me. That doesn't change the fact that you still chose to go after her instead of coming to the party with me. I freeze. I didn't know you were even at the party until Scarlett mentioned it to me. Nicole called at the exact same time. I'm sorry, Clara. I really don't know what any of this is about, but I'm trying to fix it. I don't ever want to be the reason that you're in pain. It's too late for that, isn't it? She whispers. My jaw clenched at her question. I didn't think words could hurt this much. I didn't like the fact that she seemed disappointed in me. All I knew was that I wanted to make this better. I don't know what came over me next. It was like I'd lost all control of my own body. I picked her up and pressed her up against my truck. Before she has a chance to say anything else, I crash my lips to hers. I didn't know if this was what she wanted, but I knew damn well that I needed this right now. Clara gasps against my mouth, and I can taste her salty tears on my tongue. I growl as I deepen the kiss. I was the reason those tears were in her eyes. I caused those tears, and it was something I would never be okay with. Clara was the last person on this earth that I would ever willingly hurt. Her lips were soft and hot. Her body felt like it was on fire, even though the night's air was cool. I wrapped my arms around her tightly as my mouth moved against hers. She moans against me, and I break the kiss to lean my forehead against hers. Fuck. What's wrong? She gasps. Why did you stop? I place one hand on her cheek and gently nudge her face to the side to access her neck. I can't stop myself as I bury my lips in the sweet spot right beneath her ear. I wanted to do more than just kiss it. I wanted to mark her. I wish I could. I wish I could mark what was rightfully mine. What the was wrong with me? Since when had I claimed Clara as mine? I was losing my damn mind over this woman. She had the alcohol to blame for her behavior, but I had absolutely nothing to blame. I wanted this. I wanted her, and it was all me. Alaric, please, she begs me. I want more. Did my brother ever have her like this? Did she ever make this kind of sweet music for him? The thought of him seeing her like this before I ever did make me pissed. I don't think I've ever been jealous of Carter like I am now. And then it snapped in my head. I was making a mess out of all our lives. I promised myself not to do this, not with Clara. She deserved better than this, and so did Carter. He would never forgive me even though he wasn't in love with Clara. He still was protective over her. She was still his wife's sister. Damn me. When I rip my mouth away from Clara's breasts, she tries to stop me. Her hands are on my neck, pulling me back down, but I slowly move them. Clara, I whisper, I'm sorry. This cannot happen. I'm sorry for even starting something that I can never finish. I'm so sorry for everything. The look of betrayal on her face lashes out at me. I knew I'd just screwed up without her even saying anything. My only hope was that she'd forget all about tonight. I couldn't live with myself if she kept on looking at me this way. I wouldn't make it out alive. Clara. As soon as I opened my eyes, excruciating pain shot through my head, making it nearly impossible to move. My vision was blurry, and I struggled to focus on anything in front of me. Even my eyes felt swollen and sore. I tried to recall the events from the previous night, but my mind was blank. What had I done? The lack of memory only added to my confusion and discomfort. I realized that the bed beneath me felt unfamiliar, making me wonder if I was even home. A sense of disorientation washed over me, and I sat up, trying to get my bearings. The room was dimly lit, and I could barely make out the shapes of the furniture around me. Sitting there, I felt around for the one thing that always made me sleep peacefully, Alaric's shirt. But my fingers only found the smooth sheets and the soft pillows. Panic began to sink in, and I wondered where I was and how I got there. I took a deep breath and tried to calm myself down. I closed my eyes and tried to recall the events of the previous night. But my mind was a blank slate. I couldn't remember anything. I opened my eyes and looked around the room again. When my vision clears and I get a better look at the room, it all clicks at once. I gasped. This wasn't just some random room. This was Alaric's room. The pictures, the trophies, everything, it was all belonging to him. How on earth did I manage to get into his room last night? Nothing made any sense. I remember Scarlett calling me and telling me he went to see Nicole. So then, how did I end up on his bed last night? And where exactly was he right now? The door barges open suddenly, and Scarlett rushes inside. You're finally awake. What am I doing in Alaric's bed? I ask her as I take another look around the room. She sits on the bed next to me. You don't remember anything at all from last night? I shook my head. Nothing at all. She takes my hand. It's a good thing that you are not standing when I tell you what happened. Oh no, I was already terrified to find out more. At the party last night, you had a bit too much to drink. I suppose it's my fault for calling and telling you that Alaric left to look after Nicole. You got drunk, and Jenna happened to lose you after she went to the bathroom. We couldn't find you anywhere. So I did the only thing I could think of, and called Alaric. I gape at her. You did what? I thought it might be a good idea to see how important you are to him. The second I told him that we couldn't find you, he left right away to search for you. He didn't ask any questions. He went straight for you. My heart felt full with her words. He really left everything to come find me? But that doesn't really explain how I ended up in his bed. I point out to her. She sighed. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Alaric never gave me the details. He said that he found you walking on the side of the road. He called me after he found you, and I told him that it was best that he brought you home here. I didn't want our parents to see you in that state. They already saw Alaric bringing you home once in the past. I didn't want them to question you. Why couldn't I remember any of this? What exactly did I do last night? I knew what I did the last time I was drunk. Is it possible that I did something similar last night? My lips felt swollen, and it made me wonder if there was a repeat of the last time I was drunk and next to him. What's wrong? Scarlett asks me. Why didn't he place me in one of the guest rooms? I ask her. He could have chosen any of the guest rooms. Why did he place me in his room to spend the entire night? She shrugged her shoulders. When he returned with you last night, he insisted that you sleep in his room. Everyone was shocked about it, even Carter. However, he didn't sleep in the room with you. I think that's the only reason that Carter and he didn't get into an argument last night. Why would they get into an argument over that? I ask her. I think Carter might be catching on, and he thinks of you as his sister now, especially now that we are married. I think they both want to protect you, but for totally different reasons. I'm positive Alaric doesn't think of you like he would his sister. She informs me. Carter thought of me as his sister now, and Alaric wanted to protect me. The door opens once more, and Alaric steps inside. The second that my eyes land on him, everything from the night before hits me at once. My eyes widen in horror. No! Clara! What have you done? Clara. This was it. I had finally lost my damn mind. This was the most embarrassing moment of my entire life. Alaric must know everything now. I said some things last night that should have stayed with me. I never wanted him to find out that way. I was jealous and hurt that he was with Nicole, and I acted without thinking. Now I had to find a way to fix things. The look on his face tells me that he somehow knows that I remember everything. My expression must have given it away. I didn't exactly try to hide it either. I touch my lips with my fingers, and his eyes darken. That look, I felt it down to my toes. This time I wasn't the one that kissed him. Alaric Prince kissed me last night. My professor, also my ex-boyfriend's older brother, kissed me last night. I couldn't believe it. I knew it wasn't just a dream. The strong feelings in my heart were all I needed to know it all had truly happened. I felt my heart skip a beat at that memory. My lips tingled and my body felt warm all over. I wanted to run straight into his arms so that he could kiss me all over again. His lips weren't just on my lips last night. He had them all over my body, my neck, my chest, even my breasts. I shivered at the reminder. Even now, I could still feel just how good he made me feel last night. All the feelings still lingered within me, and I was craving more of him. I wish there were nothing between us. I wish I could have him all to myself. Even though I remembered the kiss, it didn't matter because I remembered what happened next also. He apologized for kissing me and said that he shouldn't have started something that he couldn't finish. It meant that it was nothing more for him, even though it meant so much to me. But still, didn't this mean that Alaric also desired me, even though it wasn't as much as I desired him? Does this mean that I had a chance with him if I fought for him? My heart filled with hope as I imagined what it would be like to have his heart. "You're awake," Alaric says as he approaches us. I can see that he was hesitant to get close to me. Was he afraid that I would mention something about the kiss in front of my sister? I just remembered that Carter asked me to get some sheets for our bed. Scarlett blurts out suddenly, "I'll be right back." I narrow my eyes at her. I knew that she was intentionally leaving me alone with him. I would get her back for this. "Clara?" Alaric asks as soon as she leaves. "Is everything okay? Do you feel sick from last night?" "About last night," I whisper. I couldn't run from it this time. I wanted him to know that I remembered everything. After today, I was going to fight for him. "Clara," he stops me. "What I did last night was unforgivable. I shouldn't have done that to you, especially since you had too much to drink. I'm sorry, I truly am. I didn't mean to take advantage of you in that state. You didn't know what you were doing. I know that." My lips parted slightly. He was apologizing a second time. I didn't want his apology. His apology was the last thing I wanted. He had nothing to apologize for. He had no idea how much I wanted that kiss. "Alaric, you don't have to apologize. Last night I said some things to you that—" "It's okay, Clara." He cuts me off. "I've already forgotten about everything. I don't know what came over me. You're my student, my brother's ex-girlfriend. I don't know what I was thinking. I can assure you that it won't happen again." My heart squeezes tightly at his words. Can't he tell how much it's hurting me? Can't he tell by now how much I want this? How much I want him? I know it isn't my place to ask, but are you and Nicole truly divorced? I couldn't stop myself. I had to know if everything he said to me last night was true. He looked surprised by my question. "She showed me the signed papers last night. The divorce has been finalized. What we had, it's over." He answered me, and I could tell that he was being honest. That's all he's ever been. He's kind, honest, and hard-working. I could only think of good words to describe him. I felt relief wash over me. They were divorced, so I didn't have to feel guilty for wanting him. I knew that he was pushing me away because he felt that it was the right thing to do, considering I once dated his brother. However, since Carter and Scarlett were in love and there was nothing between us anymore, it shouldn't be a problem if we wanted each other. "There's something else I want to talk to you about," he says suddenly. I frown, confused that he wants to start another conversation after this one. "What is it?" I asked him curiously. It was hard to pay attention to anything else but his lips right now. I couldn't stop staring at it, but I don't think he could tell. He was too bothered with whatever it was he wanted to mention to me. "It's about the full moon that's approaching." The full moon? Alaric. Her scent, it was driving me insane. I wanted to rip her clothes to shreds and bury my mouth in every inch of her body. It was becoming uncomfortable to even stand with how badly I wanted her. It's why I knew it was time I brought up the full moon to her. If I wanted her so badly on a regular day, I knew that the feelings would only triple when the full moon arrived. She will not be safe. I knew I had to be extra cautious this full moon. However, I couldn't inform my family about my fear. They couldn't know that I wanted my little brother's ex-girlfriend. They would all flip out, especially Carter. Last night, when I insisted that Clara sleep on my bed, he was pissed with me. He didn't understand why I requested that when there were plenty of empty guest rooms available for her to sleep in. I knew it was stupid of me, but I needed to see her sleeping in my bed. The thought of her there made me feel good inside. I knew I was a sick, twisted bastard for thinking that way, especially after taking advantage of her innocence while she was drunk. However, I couldn't seem to help myself around Clara. It bothered me that I had somehow managed to upset her. It was even possible that the reason she left the party to begin with was because of me. I was still trying to figure everything out. It was crazy to even think of the possibility of Clara having feelings for me. I knew there had to be another reason for her actions. "The full moon?" Clara repeats, bringing me out of my thoughts. I run a hand through my hair as I try to say the correct words. "Yes," I answer her. "The full moon. I know that you are now aware of what happens to my family during the full moon. You saw at firsthand what Carter went through. You also know that's partly the reason that he wanted to end things with you in the past." She frowns. I could see that the reminder made her uncomfortable, and I felt like kicking myself for even bringing it back up. "Why are you telling me this now?" she asks me. "It's something that I've accepted a while now." I nod. "I know you have. You accepted it much better than Nicole ever did." I wince at the reminder of my ex-wife's reaction the second she learned about my family's secret. It was a memory that still haunts me today. "Then why are you bringing it up again?" she asks, surprised and a bit confused with my words. "Just tell her. I will feel a lot better if you lock yourself in your room this full moon and possibly every other full moon to come," I say. Her lips parted slightly as she gazed at me. "I don't understand. Why would I do that?" "I don't have an answer for you." I lie. "I'm just concerned about your safety. My brothers and I never know who we will attack while in that state. We now know it's possible to break out of those rooms in the basement. Carter broke out more than once, and the electrocution was a hot mess. It's something I never want to put any of my other brothers through. We learned from him even though he was the one that requested it." "Carter never hurt Scarlett," she points out. "She was the only one he was after, and according to her, he never hurt her even though he always feared that he would." "That's different," I try to remind her. "Scarlett and Carter are somehow mates, not the traditional mates that we're used to, but she saved him. There's a chance that there is someone out there for each of my siblings, including myself. However, until then, we still have to worry about hurting the people around us." Her eyes widen an inch. "Are you saying that you're worried that you would do something to me on the full moon?" My jaw clenched. It wasn't like I could make up a lie for this. There was no other explanation. I nod. "I am worried that I would do something to you, Clara. I tasted you last night, and the full moon is very close. I'm worried that because of what happened, I may want more of you on that night. I will have no control of my body, and I also will not remember a single thing the next day. So please, listen to me and stay indoors. keep all doors locked. She looks completely surprised by my words. I couldn't blame her. I never thought I would ever be saying these words to her. What if I don't want to stay indoors on the full moon? She asks suddenly. What? I ask, surprised. Why would you not want to keep yourself safe? She took a step closer to me, and her scent was about to throw me over the edge. I want to help you, Alaric. I want to be in that room with you. If you need me, I'll be there to take care of you. I don't want to be away from you during the full moon. I don't want to run from you. I believe that you would never hurt me. Motherfucker. Clara. I couldn't stop myself from saying what I truly wanted to say. I knew this was one of those times when I should have remained quiet, but I couldn't, not with how my heart felt right now while looking at this man. There was a look of shock on his face, but there was also something dark. It shone brightly in his eyes, and a part of me hoped that he wanted to take me up on my offer. I truly wanted to be in that room with him. I wanted to take care of him. I didn't want to run from the part of him that he was so terrified of. Nicole was disgusted with that part of him, but me, I knew that it wouldn't change the way I felt about him. In fact, it would bring me closer. Clara? He whispers as he looks around to examine our surroundings before turning his attention back to me. Do you know what you are asking for? I take a step closer to him, and his body stiffens. I know exactly what I'm asking for. I assure him. I wouldn't have asked it if I didn't mean it. He inhales sharply. I'm sorry, Clara. You have no idea what you're speaking about. Maybe you're still drunk from before. I'm unsure what's happening here. All I know is that I will never allow you to be in that room with me. I lose all control. I can't take that risk with you in there. My heart hurts, but I still persist. I want to be there for you, Alaric. I know what happens to you on a full moon, and it doesn't scare me one bit, because I know the kind of man that you are. He swallows hard and looks down at me in wonder. What kind of man am I, Clara? I wanted to say that he was my kind of man, the kind I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. However, I knew I had to keep that part of my feelings to myself. I take another step closer, and his eyes never leave mine. You're kind, caring, respectful, generous, selfless. You care about your siblings more than yourself. You would give your life for them. To me, you're perfect. There is not one thing about you that I would ever want to change, not even this thing that happens on a full moon. I know that it's a part of you, and I would never want to change it. Not to mention so freaking handsome that I couldn't stop staring at him, no matter how hard I tried. I never knew you saw me that way. He says softly as he gazes at me. I felt weak in my knees with the look he gave me. No one ever looked at me like that, not even Carter. I've always seen you that way, I confess, even while I was with Carter. He growls softly at the mention of his brother, and I wonder if I have somehow made a mistake. What's wrong? I ask, sensing the change in his mood. He puts space between the two of us. Clara, I will not put your life in danger like that. There's no telling what could happen if you were in that room with me. Besides, Carter and Scarlett will never forgive me if I do something to you. Even I wouldn't forgive myself if I ever hurt you. You are convinced that I wouldn't, but I am not. Believe me, I'm used to the full moon now. I'll be fine, and I'll be even better if I know you're safe and locked up in your room. Why was he so convinced that he would come after me? There were so many girls that he could go after on the full moon. Why was he worried about me? Is everything all right in here? My eyes moved towards the door to see Carter looking between the two of us. I remembered what Scarlett said. He thought of me as his sister now and wanted to protect me. I didn't need protection from Alaric. He was the last person I needed protection from. Yes, Carter, I answer him. Everything is fine. I thought I heard something about the full moon, he mentions. What about the full moon? Alaric's jaw clenched. I told Clara that I wanted her to stay in her room during that night, just to be extra cautious. Carter looked at his brother, and the two of them were practically in a staring competition. Neither one was looking away. What does she need to be safe from? Carter asks him. None of us will go after her. We've never gone after her. What makes you think that it would be different now? It felt like Carter was trying to get Alaric to confess something, but I could be reading too much into this. I don't think I've ever seen this much tension between the two of them before. They've always been loving toward each other. They teased each other while playing sports, but that was about it. I just want her to be safe. That's all. Alaric answers him. Since when have you ever been this concerned over Clara's safety? Carter asks him. She's like a sister to me. I'm married to her sister, and you're my brother. But I want you to give me an honest answer. Why are you this concerned about Clara's safety? What the hell was happening here? Alaric. I was pissed. I knew I had no reason to be mad at Carter, but why the was he asking me these questions in front of Clara? She shouldn't have to hear any of this. He could have asked me privately. I've always been concerned about Clara's safety, I growl, and that was the damn truth. Even while they were together, I've always worried about her safety. Bullshit, Carter says as he glares at me. I have, I assure him. Way more than you ever did. His jaw clenched as Scarlett walked into the room and placed a hand on his shoulder to calm him down. The second that she does, it works like magic. He immediately cools down. I think this isn't a discussion to be having now, she says as she looks at us. My sister had a rough night. We need to get her home so that she can rest. Clara looked at me again, and it was hard to ignore her, even though I knew it was the right thing to do. I still didn't understand why she would want to be in that room with me during the bloody full moon. She should have wanted to run and hide like Nicole always told me. She was a lot different than my ex-wife. There was something gentle about Clara. I've always seen it in her, even more now that she was accepting the part of me that even I couldn't seem to accept. This discussion isn't over, Carter growls as he leaves with Scarlett. I was glad that he was gone. I wanted to be alone with Clara, even though I knew I should never be left alone in a room with her. Promise me, I tell her. Promise me that you will stay locked in your room on that night. Do not go out anywhere. I knew if she were out, I would find some way to find her. I couldn't be trusted in that state. Usually, my brothers and I had zero clue who we would be after, but I was positive it would be Clara. That fact was still bothering me. Clara's lips parted slightly, and there was a scary, determined look on her face. It made me think that she was willing to do the opposite of what I was asking her to do. I shouldn't be worried. It's not like she would be able to access the basement easily. Actually, she says suddenly, I won't be home on that night. I stiffen. Where the would she be? I knew damn well that if it were with another man, that would be trouble. I would kill anyone that even looked her way in the wrong way during the full moon. When have my thoughts gotten this dark? What was happening to me? I was losing control on days I should have the most control. Where will you be? My voice was unrecognizable. I was angry, and it was difficult to hide it from her. Here, she announces suddenly. Since Carter still doesn't trust himself around Scarlett while she's pregnant, he wants to lock himself in the basement like he usually does. Scarlett asked me to keep her company during the full moon, so I will be here. Shock courses through my veins at this new information. Why hadn't she said this to me earlier? Why hasn't anyone mentioned it to me before? It was my first time learning about this entire thing. I felt better knowing that she wouldn't be out with another man, but now I had something else to worry about. With Clara in the same house as me, the dangers had just multiplied dramatically. The constant worry and uncertainty were weighing heavily on my mind, and I knew that I needed to find a way to protect Clara from the beast within me. She had no clue what I was capable of, and I wished she would take it more seriously. Are you sure that you want to be here during the full moon? I ask her. She nods. Nothing and no one will stop me from being here. What the hell was I supposed to do now? Make sure that you keep the doors locked, I warn her. Please, Clara, listen to me. I want you to be safe. Her lips part slightly, and she looks at me stubbornly. I promise you that I will be safe, but there are no other promises that I'm willing to make with you. That was it. I was so scared for her safety that everything in me snapped because of her unwillingness to protect herself from me. I had no control when I grabbed her by the waist and pushed her against my desk so that I was leaning over her. I could see the movements of her chest clearly. Her heart was beating rapidly now that I had her closer to me. Clara, Do you have any idea how dangerous the beast inside of me gets when there is something that he wants? Do you have any idea what could happen to you if I get my hands on you during the full moon? Do you? Clara. My body was in shock, and not the bad kind. The very satisfactory kind of shock that had your heart racing and your belly doing all kinds of weird things. Alaric had no idea what he was doing to me. I know he was trying to convince me to stay away from him during the full moon. However, he doesn't realize that this is making me want him even more. Everything about this man made me crazy for him. Alaric, I whisper, and he growls, almost like he couldn't believe I'd just said his name like that. I will be here during the full moon. I know what you and your family are scared of. However, I'm not scared. I will never be scared of you. There is a defeated look on his face as he gazes down at me. Our bodies were close, and I could feel his hot, worried breath on my cheeks. I wanted to lean forward and bury my lips on his neck. There were so many things that I wanted to do with Alaric, but I knew that I couldn't push my luck. I had to take it slowly with him. He'd only just gotten out of a horrible marriage, and I knew the last thing he would be thinking about was getting into anything serious with me. His jaw clenched, and it looked like he was calculating something in his head before finally giving up on me. He angrily lets go and storms out of the room. I fell back against the desk, trying to catch my breath. I couldn't believe that had just happened. I gently touched my lips with my fingers. I was dying for another kiss. I couldn't stop thinking about what happened before. Alaric told Carter just a few minutes ago that he's always cared about me. Was that the truth? Has he truly always cared about me? My heart melted at the possibility of that being true. It would mean the world to me if he spoke from his heart when he told those things to Carter. Alaric. The full moon was here. Preparation for tonight had already begun, and it was not easy. It's never easy. We've gotten used to it by now, but the trauma it causes us never eases, no matter how many times we've done this before. What's going on between you and Carter? Aries asks me as he shoots the basketball into the hoop. Nothing, I lie. He looks at me suspiciously. Really? Usually he's out here challenging you to a match. Recently, it seems like the two of you are not seeing eye to eye. My jaw clenched. I knew it wouldn't be long before my brothers picked up on the tension between us. I just wasn't ready to speak about it yet. I didn't want the others to get the idea that I was interested in Clara. I didn't want to deal with that right now. I also didn't want her to feel uncomfortable when she came over to the house. I wanted her around here as much as possible, and that meant making her feel welcome and not like my family was gossiping about us. The silent treatment, Aries chuckles. I guess if I don't get it out of you, I can always try getting it out of Carter. Don't, I growl. Don't ask him anything. Okay, big brother, he says as he holds up his hands in defense. Let's just get through this game without you wanting to strangle me. That's easier said than done, Aries, I tell him as I grab the ball. We have company, he announces. It looks like you won't be able to complete the game after all. I suggest that you give me the win tonight. I follow his gaze, and the ball drops from my hand, the second my eyes fall on the woman a few feet away from me. I felt everything inside of me go completely rigid. She came. Was her intention to drive me insane? What's with that look of longing on your face? Aries asks me, and I feel like punching him in his chest. You're right, I say. Take the win tonight. I have something else I need to see about right now. He doesn't say anything else. I storm into the house. Clara had already moved from my view, and I needed to find her. I walk into the hallway and search the kitchen, and then the living room. She was nowhere around. Who are you looking for? Carter asks me with his arms folded across his chest. None of your business, I growl as I walk past him up the stairs. I'm searching through each of the guest rooms next. She has me like a madman. Did she know that I would run straight after her? Was this her intention? Did she come here to tease me tonight? I felt like shouting her name, but I didn't want anyone else to know what was going on in my head. There was one last guest room left to check, one that was closest to my room. I pushed the door open aggressively, and there she was, staring out the window. She slowly turns around to look at me, and her bottom lip trembles a little. How does she do it? How does she make me this wild over her? And what the hell am I supposed to do tonight to keep myself from going after her? Clara. As I gazed into Alaric's eyes, I couldn't help but notice a change in him, something primal and intense. The way he looked at me was different from any other time before. It was as if a wild and dark hunger had taken over him, and I couldn't help but wonder if it had something to do with the full moon. His eyes seemed to draw me in, and for a moment, I felt like I was the only thing in the world that mattered to him. It was both thrilling and unnerving at the same time. It had my body in a frenzy. It even made me shiver with a need that traveled straight between my legs. As he enters the room, I notice a sense of unease in his demeanor. His footsteps are slow and measured as he makes his way towards me, his eyes fixed on mine. I can feel the tension building in the air as he closes the distance between us, his expression unreadable. His behavior was unusual and hard to predict. The door creaks softly as he reaches out to close it behind him, the sound echoing through the quiet room. I can't help but wonder what thoughts are racing through his mind as he approaches me. Despite my curiosity, I remain still, determined not to back down. I wore this dress to tease him. I wanted to see if it would drive him crazy, and I think it was actually working. His eyes were stuck on my body, and I could tell that it had him thinking dirty thoughts. Again, I was sure it also had something to do with the full moon. The part of him that I was yet to know was slowly coming out, and it wouldn't be long before he locked himself in that basement to stop himself from coming after me. I was happy that Scarlett asked me to stay with her tonight. That way, I could be closer to him. Of course, she asked me why I had dressed up so much just to spend the night over with her, but I played it off. Obviously, I knew she had an idea that it had something to do with Alaric, but she didn't try to get the truth out of me, and I was grateful for that. It wasn't something I wanted to discuss with her or anyone just yet. I wanted every moment I had with Alaric from today onwards to be between the both of us until I was ready to share it with everyone else. "You came," he growls. "I came," I whisper, "and I'm here to stay for the rest of the night." His jaw clenched. "I told you not to come. I told you to stay locked in your room. I told you not to do this for your own safety." "I'm very safe," I answer him. "Wherever you are, I know it's the safest place to be." He looks at me as though I've just lost my mind. "Are you hearing yourself, Clara?" he demands from me. I nod. "I am, Alaric." His eyes flash when he hears his name in my mouth. "Clara," he growls, "please, I'm begging you, go home tonight. There is still time. Listen to me, please." I stand my ground. I was not about to go home tonight. I made up my mind. I wanted him, I wanted this, and I was not backing down without a fight. "Damn it," he growls as he slams his fist against the glass window behind me. The entire thing shook like it wanted to break from the force of his hand. That's the last thing I wanted. I didn't want him to be angry. I wanted him to put his hands on me again like he did in the past. I was dying to have him closer to me. Alaric may be mad at me right now for not listening to him, but he doesn't realize how much I want him. He doesn't realize what he does to me or my body, and I think tonight might be the night that I tell him. It was the one night that he would forget everything the next day. "Alaric!" She wasn't listening to me, and everything about her drove me up a wall. It was like she came here with intentions to taunt me. Even her scent was stronger than ever, and I knew the full moon was causing this to happen to me. Usually, I would have just a little more control than this, but today it was all gone. There was no bloody control, and I knew that I had less than 20 minutes left to lock myself in that basement before the beast inside of me showed himself. "Okay," I tell her, finally giving up. I didn't have any time left to convince her. "I'll find a way to keep you safe from myself." And I meant those words. I rather kill myself than hurt Clara. I would do everything in my power tonight to protect her. "You don't have to try hard at all, Alaric." She tries to assure me, "You will never hurt me, even in that state." Why did she have so much damn faith in me? Even I didn't trust myself as much as she did. Clara never seemed to fail to amaze me. Maybe that was why it was so hard to stay away from her. No one else ever treated me the way that she did. That is why I have to protect her at all costs. Clara, what's up with you? Scarlett asks me as I walk into her room. Alaric and his siblings had locked themselves up in the basement an hour ago. I wasn't sure what to expect now. Did I wait? Would Alaric certainly come for me tonight? I couldn't get him out of my mind, no matter how hard I tried. He was all I could think about day and night. I didn't plan on staying in the room with Scarlett for the entire night. I would sneak out when she fell asleep and stay in Alaric's room. I figured that if he escaped from the basement and did come looking for me like he warned me, the best place to be would be inside of his room. Nothing. I lie. She sighs. I can see that your cheeks are burning, Clara. You can't hide the truth from me. I know something happened between you and Alaric again. Carter mentioned that he saw Alaric searching the house for someone, and I think we both know you are the person he was searching for. And look at what you're wearing. You'll never wear that for a sleepover unless you had ulterior motives. Of course, it was easy for Scarlett to read me like an open book. I was never good at hiding my feelings. Something did happen, I confess, but I don't feel like talking about it. I want to keep it to myself until I'm sure that it's more than just a crush. She quirks a brow at me. So there is a possibility that things between the two of you can become serious? I shrug. Maybe. Maybe not. Only time will tell, sister. She makes herself comfortable on the bed and looks at me. Imagine if you marry Alaric. We will both be married into the same family. To brothers. How amazing would that be? I blushed at the thought of marrying Alaric. I knew it was way too soon to be thinking of any of that, but now that Scarlett mentioned it, I didn't know how to get it out of my head. It made me hope for things I knew were out of my reach. What are you thinking about that? Have you smiling from ear to ear? She teases me. I didn't realize that I'd been smiling while thinking about the future with him. Nothing, I lie. Why aren't you sleeping? She sighs. I can't sleep. I'm worried about Carter. She confesses. I begged him to stay in the room with me tonight. I told him that I was positive he would never hurt me. He's proven that he will never hurt me on the full moon multiple times before. However, he still isn't convinced. And since I'm pregnant, he's more terrified than ever that he would do something to me. It's bothering me that he's locked in a room in the basement while I'm comfortable in our bed. I gently rub her back. It's just for tonight. If this is what he's comfortable with, then leave him. Eventually, he will realize that he can be trusted during the full moon. She gives me a sad smile. I really do hope so, Clara. I pull the sheets over her and turn the lights off. Go to sleep now. I'm right here. You need plenty of rest right now. Carter wouldn't want you stressed out about this. After an hour, my sister finally fell asleep and I breathed a sigh of relief. I loved being here for her, but tonight, I wanted to be there for Alaric also. I wanted to prove to him that he would never hurt me, even under a stupid full moon. I quietly walked out of the room and shut the door. After checking the hallway to make sure that it was empty, I quickly ran over to Alaric's room. The second I'm inside, I closed the door, making sure not to lock it. Before I could even make it to the bed, the door flew open. I spun around with wide eyes to see him already inside. As I stood there, facing Alaric, I felt a sense of unease wash over me. The Alaric I knew was always in control, calm, and collected unless I did something risky to drastically change his behavior. But this time, something was different. The Alaric standing in front of me was wild, his eyes burning with a fierce intensity that I had never seen before. My body shivers uncontrollably. His chest heaved as he took deep breaths, and I could hear his ragged breathing even from where I stood. I knew without a doubt that this was not the Alaric I was used to seeing. His energy was palpable, and it was clear that he was on edge. I didn't need him to say or do anything to know all of this. The tension in the air was almost suffocating, and I struggled to take a deep breath as my heart raced in my chest. He'd found me. It didn't take long at all. My eyes widened when I noticed something I should have noticed before. There were multiple bruises all throughout his body, especially on his arms, hands, and calves. There was even blood dripping onto the ground. It was hard for me to see him like this. Just what did Alaric get himself into to get to me tonight? Clara! I rush to his side, and he doesn't move an inch. He stands completely still as I examine his body. What the hell happened? I demand from him. What did you do to yourself? I wanted him to come to me tonight, but I didn't want to see him hurt like this. What was I thinking? If I'd known being here tonight would have resulted in this, I would have gladly stayed home. I still didn't know enough about this full moon and what it did to Alaric. I felt sick to my stomach. This was all my fault. He doesn't say anything to me. All he does is continue to stare at me as though I'm his next meal. Alaric, I whisper, I need to clean your wounds. There's so much on your body. I rush into the bathroom and search for anything to help with his pain. I'm not prepared for when he grabs me from behind and pushes me up against the wall. I didn't have time to prepare. It was the last thing I expected him to do. Everything he'd said to me before, the fact that he was so terrified of himself. This was the part of himself that he was hiding from me. I wasn't scared at all. I just worried that he would hate himself for this in the morning when he woke up and was himself once more. Alaric, I gasp when his mouth moves to my neck. He leaves it there without doing anything except sniff me. Was he truly smelling me? I stay completely still as he continues to drag his nose from one side of my neck to the other. I could feel my body respond almost instantly, even though he wasn't doing much. He growls low and predatory, and I believe it's because he can smell my arousal. It wasn't something that I could easily hide from him, especially not when he was like this. Think, Clara. You can't let this continue. You must stop him before he wakes up hating himself in the morning. I wish declining him was as easy as that thought. I couldn't say no to this man, even if I wanted to. The truth was that I wanted this even more than he did, and that was saying something, considering that he was the one in need of shocks right now because of the curse. I didn't even need a curse to be craving that from him. I was much, much worse than he was. Alaric, please, I beg. I want more. Please. I don't know what happens next, but I don't get my wish. Instead, he freezes like he'd suddenly been hit with the reality of what was happening. I gasped when his hands moved from around me, and I fell to the ground without warning. My lips part when a painful roar escapes his mouth. I watch in horror as he slams his fist into the mirror in front of him. Alaric! I cry. Stop! You're hurting yourself! He doesn't listen to me. It feels like he's punishing himself for touching me. I try to pull him away, but it wasn't doing anything. There was blood everywhere, and he was making the bruises much worse than before. Please, Alaric, I beg. Please, please stop this. No matter how hard I tried, he didn't want to stop. He insisted on hurting himself. Why would he do this? Nicole. I was pregnant. Ace had gotten me pregnant, and now I had to make Alaric believe that this child was his. And I needed to do it before he realized that I was pregnant. There was only one thing I could think of doing at a time like this. It was the full moon. He should be locked in that room. Once I woke up next to him, he would believe that he'd slept with me the entire night. That way, he would believe me when I told him I was pregnant with his baby. Everything would work out in the right way for me. I sneak into the basement using the key Alaric once gave to me. It wasn't the only key. He's given me multiple ones, and I've kept them all. I'd already messed with the cameras. I knew that one day I would need them, and I was right. Today was the day that I needed those keys more than ever. I didn't stop as I raced from door to door until I found the one I was looking for. Alaric's. I was surprised, however, when I noticed that the door was already opened. That's strange. Since our marriage, I don't think he's ever left this basement on a full moon. Why would anyone leave this door unlocked? I was hesitant as I peeked inside. I didn't want to get attacked by him if he was unchained. I'm surprised when I see not a single sign of him inside. Instead, all that's left is some blood and broken chains. It meant that he'd broken free from here a long time ago. Maybe not that long. The blood was still fresh. I shivered with disgust at what that monster was capable of doing. He must have found another woman to bury his duck inside tonight. I don't feel even the slightest bit of envy. I only feel disgust. I can't believe I've ever been married to that man. Alaric is the last person I'll ever want to be married to. However, I needed him. As long as I needed him, I had to find a way to get him to stay by my side. I'd already lost a big part of him when he divorced me. Now, I didn't have much left to hold on to. I was desperate for him to believe this baby was his. I haven't broken the news to Ace just yet. I wanted to trap Alaric first, then handle Ace. I knew Alaric was a much easier target than Ace was. Alaric always fell for my fake tears. It didn't work with Ace. He was a lot more heartless than my ex-husband was. Alaric had a soft spot for me, and I planned on using that to my advantage as long as possible. I quickly got out of the basement before another one of his brothers could escape and do something to me that I would hate. It's not like they would remember seeing me the next day. They all disgusted me, every single one of them. I don't know why I ever married into this family. The second that I enter the hallway, I immediately think to check Alaric's room. Maybe he was in there. I had to do something. Anything to get him to believe that he slept with me tonight. I knew it was risky to be inside his home when I didn't ask for an invitation, but I had no choice. If I told Alaric I wanted to be here tonight, it would have made my intentions a lot more visible. Besides, I knew that he would have turned me down. He always asked me to stay far from him during the full moon. He never needed to ask me. I always preferred to keep away from him during that time. Even now, I hated the fact that I needed to be here when he was running loose. There was no telling the state he was in or which woman was his next target now that I was out of his life. I was at the bottom of the stairs when I noticed some movement at the top. I immediately hid before the person could spot me. It didn't take me long to realize who it was. Clara. What the fuck was she doing here? Why would Alaric have Clara over during a full moon? That was very unlike him. She looks like she's crying as she runs out the door. I don't think I've ever seen her look that upset before. Something must have happened between the two of them. Why else would she be that way? I knew damn well it wouldn't be for Carter since she was completely over him. I don't waste another second as I race up the stairs to Alaric's room. I had to move quickly before I ran into anyone else again. I knew Scarlett was most likely in her room. I had to hope that she was fast asleep. I breathed a sigh of relief when I finally got to the door. I quickly opened the door to find Alaric passed out on the bed. Yes, it was exactly what I needed to see. I didn't waste any more time as I ripped my clothes so that it looked like he was the one who did it. When I was pleased with my work, I snuggled against his chest and held on tightly. Tomorrow, everything will go back to normal between us. He will be mine again.